A 3x5 index card changed my life. You wouldn't think it could, but it did. Room for rent, quiet street, close to Alder Ridge College. Call Darian. I was a 39-year-old widower in Sawyer Creek, Illinois. The kind of man people read as tired before they learn his name. The kind of dad who can fix a sneaker with dental floss, make pancakes from the last cup of mix, and still save a smile for his 8-year-old daughter, Nia. Folks say hard work speaks for itself, but in my world, hard work whispers and bills shout. When Tessa called about the room, her voice was polite and careful, like she didn't want to take up space, and when she showed up with a thrift store jacket and a messenger bag with a broken buckle, Nia slid out from behind my legs and asked the only question that mattered: can she braid my hair if she moves in? Tessa laughed, went to one knee and said, "Yes, Mom, I am excellent at braids," and just like that our house breathed easier. The room was small slanted ceiling window to a maple that tried its best, and I did my landlord's speech about quiet hours and rent due at month end, waiting for the flinch that never came. "This feels perfect," she said, and I didn't ask perfect compared to what, because people have reasons, and I've learned to let them unfold. By week 2, she was showing up at pancake time whisking batter like she'd trained in a breakfast diner, and I told her, "You don't have to do that. You're a tenant, not a sous chef," and she grinned. Maybe I like pancakes. Soon she was on the rug with Naya after school, sounding out words, braiding hair that bounced like a metronome, reading the same library book 3 nights in a row, because the dragon voice I did was, and I quote, elite. I noticed little things the way single parents do, the sleek phone face down on the counter, lighting up with messages from a chat called Langford Family Summit, the groceries that arrived with a soft BOGO story, the envelope for a mobile mechanic that just happened to appear when my car coughed itself to silence. I am not a suspicious man, I'm a dad, which is a different animal, so I clocked it and let it sit. Pride is a coat you swear you'll never take off, but love will make you hang it on the back of a chair for a while. The night I stitched Nia's sneaker, and Tessa walked in with neon pink shoes that lit up when you walked wrong size for my cousin, she said, apologetic. Like it was a crime, Nia screamed, the kind of joy that forgives you for everything you'll ever get wrong. Later, with the house quiet and the train humming a county over Tessa, and I sat on the porch steps, and I asked if she really liked it here. "More than I expected," she said, eyes on the sky. "Most students want a place that looks good in photos. I wanted a place that feels like..." She didn't finish. Some words you don't say out loud until you're sure they'll stay. The car showed up on a Sunday that smelled like onions and broth, and hope-long sedan windows, tinted paint that held sunlight like a secret rolling to a stop in front of my leaning blue house like a movie villain in no hurry. The back door opened, and a man stepped out, wearing money like cologne, gray at the temples, suit that fit like a sentence you cannot appeal. And he looked at my porch like a missed payment. Tessa froze before she spoke. "That's my dad." I put myself between the door and Nia, because my body knows where to stand when storms want in, and the man said, "We have been looking everywhere. You vanished. No driver, no security. You think I would not find you." Then he swept a hand at my walls and said, "Here with strangers," stretching that word until it cut. Nia whispered, "Is he a policeman?" And I said, "No, baby, somebody's dad." And to him I said, "Sir, she's safe here, respected here." He measured me in a second. "Darian Cole," I offered, and he took my hand, like it insulted him, then turned to Tessa. "We are leaving now. This experiment has gone far enough." You know what I mean, the kind of voice that's used to obedience. I felt that old heat climb my neck, the shame born in school hallways and waiting rooms. But I kept my tone even. She pays rent. She has a key. She's part of this household. You don't get to call it an experiment because you don't understand it. Neighbors were out. Sawyer Creek loves a show. Mrs. Patel with a dish towel. Wade in his tool belt trying to fix the moment with a wrench. And Tessa squared her shoulders. Dad, stop. I'm not a headline you can manage. This is the first place in a long time where I feel like myself. He said you have a name that opens doors. Do not trade it for a broken latch and charity. And that was the moment a steel beam set in my chest. Charity doesn't braid hair, I told him. Charity doesn't memorize spelling lists or burn pancakes because a kid likes the middle soft. Charity doesn't love like a daily choice. He left that first time with a slam that rattled the measuring cups. Came back at dinner thinking I'd have packed her bag and found us eating soup with mismatched spoons while the radiator spoke its piece. He sat slow like the chair needed permission, looked at the chipped plates and the watercolor taped to the fridge and asked, "This is home?" I said yes. He asked what I wanted. That's a trick men like him assign a price if you name a thing. But I told the truth. I want my kid to keep laughing. I want the roof to keep rain outside and heat inside. I want enough in the bank that when Naya outgrows a shoe, I don't have to choose between laces and light bulbs. And I want Tessa to be allowed to decide how her own name fits her mouth. He turned to Tessa last chance and she said, "My future is mine if you want to be in it. That's your choice." And he left again, which felt like a victory until the quiet rushed in and made me second-guess everything. That night, I tried to be noble, told Tessa she should go, because I knew what storms cost, and she looked at me like I had missed the point on purpose. "Comfort without love is a nice hotel," she said. "It isn't home, do you think? I don't see you put your coat over Naya in the rain. Do you think I don't notice you eat toast, so there's enough eggs for two? Do you think I don't know what kind of man you are?" Yeah, that happened. Morning came, and with it Victor, without his armor, no tie, no entourage, just a father with a tired mouth. He didn't scan the scuffs, he scanned us and he said, "I still don't understand your choice, but you are not lost here." Then he did a thing that surprised even him, Mr. Cole. "Allow me to fund Naya's education, no strings. Consider it a thank you for keeping my daughter off a ledge I did not know she was standing on." I wanted to say no out of habit. I wanted to hold pride like a railing. But I looked at Naya building a cereal box city on the rug and thought about a future not paid for with bargains. So I nodded once, "Thank you." He exhaled like a piano had slid off his back. And then, because nothing is simple, he said, "There would be a discreet security contact on the block, purely observational. We will respect boundaries. I will not pretend my daughter isn't who she is. Help and control can wear the same jacket if you don't check the tag." Life didn't flip into a montage. We still had Tuesday, spaghetti Wednesday, laundry Friday, spelling where Naya turned her S into treble clefs, but the seams changed. Tessa stopped hiding the phone. Her mother met us at a diner and cried into Nia's hair. Wade fixed the porch steps. Mrs. Patel taught Tessa to fold samosas, and Victor showed up, sometimes holding oranges like a man learning a new language, watching a 2-minute tap routine with enough reverence to make me forgive him a little. Then a gossip site sniffed out a story, Tech Air goes missing. Found living incognito in a working-class neighborhood. No address named, but small towns read between lines. And Victor's attorney called with a voice so smooth it could iron, suggested a non-disclosure, standard protection for everyone. Tessa went cold on the word paper, told her father on our porch. "If you want to protect me, stand next to me, not in front of me." And that night, I stared out the sink window at our street and said what I knew. In my bones, if you want to sign, we'll sign. If you don't, we won't. If you want to move, we'll pack tonight. If you want to stay, we'll fortify this porch like a castle. And she leaned her shoulder into mine like we were already a fort. Victor came back with revised papers, said they would seal our address shield. Naya's fund, keep hungry cameras away, promised they didn't give him rights to our decisions. Promised a lot while holding a grocery bag like a peace offering, and we read every line twice. The lawyer coughed when I asked questions. Victor looked at me like he wanted to hire me and fire me at the same time, and Tessa set the pen down and looked at me, not him, and said, "I'll do what's best for us." Now here's where you come in, because not every story should tell you how to feel. Do we sign and call it wisdom, or do we refuse and call it freedom? Is protection just control with good? PR is pride, a roof, or a prison? What would you do if a long sedan idled at the end of your quiet street and asked to come in? If this hit something true in you, tell me in the comments what you think is right or wrong, where the line is between help and ownership, and if you've lived a version of this yourself, share it. And if you want more stories told, like you're at the kitchen table with us, hit subscribe, tell us where you're watching from and weigh in. Contract or conversation, comfort or courage, what does justice look like to you?